Work. Here we go again. No. I'm having a rough day because I have a lot of um, the digestive system's not working as well. I had some leftovers I didn't want to waste, and that didn't go well with me because I should have thrown them out, but I didn't. But then, yeah, I was getting a eternal lesson from people helping me through this. Why did I do that? Because these people are being manipulated, and then they're doing things with their money to act like, power and kindness with money. It's, oh, that damn philanthropy again, right? So I'm sitting there, all these inventions that are replacing God with their inventions, right? And so, I said earlier this last week, we were going to cut out pasta and processed meats and stuff. And my little sister comes and cleans out the fridge of all the food I made for us to eat this week, and comes in and buys groceries. And she bought processed meats for sandwiches, which Dad had and I didn't. And then made a big thing. All my beans are thrown out, so I can't have my burritos. And she threw out the potatoes. She had them sitting there. There's still potatoes for a burrito in there. And she had put them it was in a container. And she looked at it and didn't know what it was. So she set it in the sink for me to throw in the toilet and wash out and clean out. She went through and threw out all the stuff that, all the groceries that we planned the food that we eat. And I ask him what he wants and what he likes. That's what I do when I grocery shop with Dad. I ask him to make a list, and then I get his list and of the groceries he wants, and then I prepare the groceries he wants, and then I also put in groceries there, mostly fruits and vegetables, which are the cheapest single foods, mostly myself, and then we get similar things together, an ice cream and some dark chocolate and things like that, for both of us. And but I had the pasta, and my digestive system is going shit, and so I'm sitting there thinking to myself, do I finish off all that big thing of pasta, or do I daddy as much as he can and throw it out, or what? Because the pasta's, I don't know about with him, but with me it doesn't digest very well, so it's not working. So I got the runs and the cramping and stuff like that, and before I was doing a lot better, and I was getting my son. I didn't want to make Teresa uncomfortable sitting out there soaking in the sun all the time. And, so it's, and then I used to get mad, but now I'm just like, these people are pathetic. They're pathetic. They can program people like they're programming a video game, and they can't get them to do anything they don't want to do. And so it makes you a little uncomfortable. So a week, it throws me off. And I'm like, okay, but I got to get back in the saddle, but I got all day today with cramps and runs and washing my bum and drinking water and stuff, but I still got to get out there when the sun comes out and soak in the sun. And I got to soak in my salts, and then I got to sit down, do my chair exercises, which is very uncomfortable because, the cramping and so. And then today they went through and just sprayed Roundup and sprayed Roundup and sprayed Roundup. And so I'm like, yeah. Before I used to say, they're trying to kill us, I got to stop all of them. It's like, technology is aware. Technology is more intelligent than you. Technology understands the meaning of words, applications of science, physics, laws better than you do. So, it would behoove yourselves to correct yourselves. And throwing the poor in front of the bus before the bus finally stops because it has no brakes, like Watkins always still, this thing's left the thing. I'm like, God dang, dude, it's hard. You are nuts. Okay. He was in prison, and he was trained with stuff in prison, and the indoctrination in prison, and he'd talk about shit, and you go, you do know that does not apply in physics and makes no sense whatsoever. You're just making this shit up. Okay, you can't do that. You can't make up your own perception of the truth of creation. Okay, you have to understand it and then accept it for what it is. Okay, and you cannot eliminate the truth of creation because other people turn it into a comic book and try to sell you the comic book. Okay, you're an atheist, you're a Christian, right? Okay, now I'm watching this little girl, BrittReacts. She's a cute little brown girl. She's adorable. Okay, she's really cute. And she doesn't wear much makeup, which makes it even cuter. It's like, oh man, she's so adorable. Like Nancy Wilson, you'd be so nice to wake up to, right? She's cute, right? Her role is about brown eyes and nice lips and the beautiful skin. He's a sucker for it, right? Total sucker for it. And so from the time I was young, what are you doing? Whatever you want me to do. And still you start talking about stupid, selfish stuff, and then I'm going to, damn it, please, no, I got to go. And it's painful because you want to go back. You know, I'll just jump off Wudang Mountain. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, you're funny. It's funny. Never mind. But she's sitting there talking, you know, she's watching Dave Allen make jokes about the comic book sale store. And he makes lots of money off of being an atheist, making jokes about this comic book sale store. But it's like, but no one's obeying God's command to forgive debt and trespass. Okay, so don't invent money and use it to manipulate others to feel powerful. No one's obeying that command. Isn't that probably like one of the most important commands? Isn't that the one he left at the Last Supper? With the what? And they'll always tell you, he's Christ. We're not good enough. We don't get to live what he came to give us until we go to the magic place in the sky for the comic book sales that we accept as, and then this is life being eternal, grace being implemented. This keeps replicating itself, and then you get stuck in eternal wretchedness. How Blaise Pascal be? It's okay. I got a triangle here. It's Pascal's. It's cool. It's not his. They call it Pascal's triangle, but what he's doing is he's giving you an observation, an analysis, a processing of a scientific fact, not fiction, of eternity through sexual reproduction and holy covenants. Are you not a father? Okay, I mean, are you not a son? Yes. Are you not going to be a father? And what provides life to both the Father and the Son? The Holy Spirit. There you go. They can be taught. Like I did with Elijah Beningas. No, I'm not. Okay. You're not? Okay, you're the Son and the Father, but you're not the Holy Spirit. Right, Jesus is the Holy Spirit. I'm just the Son and the Father. Okay, then why did Jesus have to be the Son and the Father? Jesus was never the Father. Jesus didn't have any kids when he was here. Then how can he be the Father? He's just the Son and the Holy Spirit. So what do we need fathers for? Right? See? And so, what? Yeah. It's Gideon's. In the beginning, there was a beginning. And so it's an Irish book. Okay, what are you doing? You're going to have to, who's going to pay for the drinks? Okay, when Joseph was an old man, and an old man was he read at Virgin Mary, the Queen of Galilee. Joseph shall have cherries, Mary shall have cherries, and Joseph shall have beer, right? And what? It makes who's going to pay the bar tab? Mary shall have to have sex with the men to pay for the bar tab. Okay, it's the world's first profession. There we go. Damn Catholics. Okay, so, always drunk. I love my Irish family, but damn, they listen like shit. Well, that's because they're always drinking, you know. How do you know something's bad if you've never tried it? Okay, I know it's bad, okay, to stick a gun in the roof of my mouth and blow my brains out. I've never tried it. I don't intend on doing so. There you go. That's how I know. Okay? So what are you doing? You're pickling your brain. You're pickling your liver and killing your brain cells slowly with a beer and a gin. There you go. And the nun is joining you because she doesn't really believe in the comic book. She's just doing it to stay alive and suffer extortion and exploitation without being screwed over by a man who doesn't love her but says he loves her and then screws the secretary all the time, right? Got home last night about 10:30. There was the woman I thought I knew in the arms of another man. Kept my cool, I ain't no fool. Let me tell you what happened there. I packed some clothes and I walked out, and I ain't going back again. So take a letter, Maria. Okay, you got on the wrong side of the bed. The bishop's shoes are still on your feet. Oh. Think the mother's going to be, Superior's going to be mad? No, she's a lesbian. Okay. I'm God, I know everything. You're funny. Hey, whatever sells comic books so I can be the wealthiest comic book salesman in the planet. I'm a content creator. Please like, share, and subscribe. It helps me more than you'll ever know. Don't just forgive debt and trespass, love on eternal faithful peace. Help. Right. Guys, the word Christian, okay, the word Christian, okay, means the anointed one, the enlightened one, the man of immaculate faith in the glory of God, that frees us from all tribalism, all racism, all violent sex cult activities and oppression that it begets through selfishness, right? That's what Christian means, right? Christian means you are christened by the whole Son, Father, and both the Son and the Father are provided life by the Holy Spirit, right? And with the gift given to us by the truth of creation, we sons and fathers cannot continue to worship the truth of creation without daughters and mothers, right? And they're provided life with the Holy Spirit, Holy Trinity, Batman. Okay, so men bastardized God into their genitalia and cannot have God without her genitalia. Go figure. Wow. He took 100 pounds of clay. All right. He took 100 pounds of clay. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? I don't care. I like chicken. I like eggs, and I'm not going to bombard myself with the Higgs boson collider to invent a wormhole to go back in time to win the bet on which came first, the chicken or the egg. And what popped out of the sand first and started walking around and going, hey, and then making, look, this dinosaur is chasing that dinosaur is the food, and that dinosaur is the eater of the food. And then when that one dies, that one the biodegrades, and then the grass grows, and then that one eats that as food, and then that one comes that one for food, and pickle pie. So you're saying Disney is God? No. I'm saying they're selling you comic books for money. Now forgive debt and trespass, level 1, eternal faithful peace. Wow, he must be the Christ. Yeah, the anointed one, the enlightened one. God's omnipotent. Your comic book sales are the world's first profession. Okay. Now help Britt Reacts not have to do this. She could spend more time gardening with Adam, if that's his name. You know, her man. You know. But my man, I love him so he'll never know, right? He's no hero out of books. He's not much on looks. You know, 2 or 3 other girls has he that he likes as well as me. But my man will never know. Yeah, you ever heard that? I like Billie Holiday too. You know, that was, and they said it was at the end of the video. It says these 20 most influential black singers. And I was like, no, it's not true. Why? Because a lot of those women, you said they were actresses and did not sing. The bikini girl on Rowan Martin's Laugh-In was not a singer. She was eye candy. Okay. And Vanetta McGee, I ain't never heard Vanetta McGee sing. I had a big crush on her when I was a kid because, wow, she was pretty, and it was blaxtation, and I was born during the blaxtation era, you know. So Pam Grier and who was the one that Tracy Reed. Boom, boom, boom. Anybody else have a big crush on Tracy Reed? Boom, 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 boom. But I had just as big of a crush on the blonde-haired, red-haired hooker in the bathroom that George Carlin was looking for because she skipped out on her fare. Yeah, she was cute. She had nice little full lips and big brown eyes. She wore the wigs, but she had a cute little afro. You know, she looked so pretty. She's so pretty. She had natural hairstyle, you know. Where Tracy, I don't know Tracy Reed. I don't think that's her natural. I don't know if that's her natural hair. Okay. Because Miami Sue, you know, was lighter like Tracy Reed and had big, fat, thick ringlets, but she needed to keep conditioner and moisture on her or her scalp would get dry and itchy like most black foods do. But she had the big fat, because she was part white, she had the big fat ringlet hair and not the kinky, you know, hair that some people make fun of. It's like, you know, a rose must remain with the sun and the rain, or its ugly promise won't come true. To each his own, to each his own. I had a big crush on Erica Fortiche, Mark Fortiche's sister. Okay, and I had a crush on, and she never knew who got into it over Benny Fielder or whoever. The pig, you know. I also had a crush on Teresa Bishop here in town. Okay, she was a short little black girl with an afro and small lips and big brown eyes and a badow booty, right? Just wonderful little butt and thighs and hips. It was just like, whoa, like Rhonda Jones had. And, you know, she would tease and trick me and show me the goods. And I was like, Rhonda, you got to please quit doing that. I'm trying to be a good guy. And you're Michelle's best friend. And I asked out Michelle. Michelle can't go out with me because her dad's bigot. And if I go out with you and you have sex, then she's poor. Michelle's going to be, I wish I had Jesse's Earl, you know. So I wish I had Rhonda's Earl, you know, and that would not be fair. Wouldn't be fair to Michelle, wouldn't be fair to me, and it wouldn't be fair to you, you know. And I wanted, I want to have Rhonda had a single mom that would let her date anybody that she wanted as long as he was a decent guy, and if he was a loser, lose him. If he was a decent guy, keep him. That was Mrs. Jones. We got a thing going on, boo. And Rhonda wasn't as physically desirable to most guys as Michelle, because Michelle looks a lot like BrittReacts. You know, she had the tiny little face and the little brown skin, and she had a smile that lit up the room when you walked in, and she ran track and all that, and had the athletic little bubble butt and a little, the tiny little butt. And she came after me hot and heavy right away because she knew I was interested, right? And Rhonda, and like Teresa Bishop and the rest of them, they didn't, because he looks like Magnum PI's little brother, but he's not going to be interested in me. Teresa Bishop, I kind of, the closest person on TV I resemble is the mom on Good Times, right? No, you don't. No. She's got kind of a box shape. You've got a tiny little waist, smaller waist, and big hips, and a double tailor tray booty, and full lips, and a little button nose, and big brown eyes, and the hair is very soft, okay, especially when they take real good care of it. It's very soft. It's fun to run your fingers through their hair, okay, and and touch her hair and how soft it is, and have it laying next to your cheek, right? And so they got they got Johnson products on it and stuff like that. That's okay. It's got moisturizer and stuff. It'll just, if you get a few pimples, it'll be like, baby, we're going to have to make sure that you wear a little cap thing while we sleep at night so you're not making my face break out with your cheap-ass Johnson products, and they're owning, the Greyhound bus system. Last time I saw him, he sweetly kissed my lips. Last time I saw him, said I'll be back for more of this. I gave him money, I know I invested well. Mama doesn't trust him, but he loves me, I can tell. Each day the Greyhound arrives at 5 o'clock, but I don't stop my crying till that last man's gotten off. Last time I saw him, last time I saw my honey, last time I saw him, he was Greyhound bound, and when he waved goodbye, he said, don't cry, honey, I'm coming back. Rain or shine, hey, la da da dee. Last time she saw me, right? I told you I was trouble. You know that I'm no good, right? You notice a little carpet burn, and my guts start to churn. Okay. I come home from work and late, and you snuff me out like I'm Ray, because you're my girly girl, you're my thuggish bone girl. You ever been married to girls like that? It's hard, man. It's like, what? Oh, come on now. We only act like children when we argue, fuss, and fight. If you don't know me, but with my first wife, she was homosexual, and hoping I could cure her and rescue her from the curse of homosexuality. And every time she was accusing me of looking at people, it was her who was looking at people. And I was like, no, we have radically different taste. Yeah, she's physically desirable, but she's dressed like a hoochie mama and probably has the personality of an eggplant. Yeah. Okay. I want the woman who has some modesty. Come on now. You look at my music collection. Those cozy nights we cuddled in your easy chair. Oh no, I won't let foolish pride turn you away. I'll take you back whatever price I pay. Oh friend, I have Anita Baker, Like my boy Brian said, you are the black man. You know our history better than we know our history. You understand black people better than they understand themselves. You ain't trying to have sex with the Mary Jane girls and all the girls that have sex with Prince and the black sexation and stuff like that. You see black women as a queen. You have Anita Baker. You have Phyllis Hyman, You can tell everybody about all of what's her name again? She played Harriet Tubman, and she also played she plays Sojourner Truth in a movie. Miles Davis's ex-wife. I can't remember her name. Cicely Tyson. That's it. Thank you, Cicely Tyson. The guy who barbecues the chef on fried green tomatoes. Was it fried green tomatoes? I think it was fried green tomatoes. Was it fried green tomatoes, y'all? I think so. Okay. Cicely Tyson, right? She was briefly married to Miles Davis, but he was screwing around. That night on our honeymoon, we slept in separate rooms. Maybe Cicely Tyson wrote that and then Frida Payne sang it. You know what I'm saying? Okay. But Frida Payne's husband? Oh, my mom. My mom had a huge, ginormous crush on Frida Payne's husband. Oh, those hazel eyes he has. His voice is so nice. He's so attractive. Here in my mind, girl, I want to shake you down. I shake and I shiver when I hold you near. Yes. Gregory Abbott. Gregory Abbott was Frida Payne's husband, right? Now that you're gone, all that's left is a band of gold. All that you took me from a shelter of a mother that I never knew, right? It's a good song. You ever heard it? Yeah, Frida Payne, she's pretty. She's pretty. Skinny? Yeah, but don't knock skinny girls. They really make you feel like you're Lar, she Lana, and Lar loved Delunda Lana, right? It's fun, okay? They make you feel like you're the strongest man in the world. You can pick them up, carry them around the room and stuff, and just, me, Mr. Pornography Super Sex Man, right? And all the big girls, they like biggest dickus with the big strong things. He picks me up and makes me feel like I'm the size of Halle Berry, right? Like I'm Halle Berry. That cute little tiny girl, that stupid bitch, she thinks she's so hot, right? It's funny. It's like, just so on and so on and Scooby-Dooby-Dooby. Guys, don't compare. Like Judy Krishnamurti said to the kids at Ricci Valley School, tell your teacher, don't compare, okay? Because when you see yourself as the physical self, and then you compare yourselves physically, like last night before going to bed, man, I was sitting there watching stuff, that thing about the black woman, the most beautiful black woman, and yada, 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 right? And I started thinking about men and beauty contests. And if you look over my shoulder, see that right there? Okay. The corporation of, they had beauty contests, Miss America, Miss Universe. Okay. And there's Miss World, there's Miss America, Miss Universe, Miss USA, and Miss World. Okay. Is that right? Something like that. Right. So Miss America was Miss Universe, Miss USA was Miss World. Just two different pageants, just doing the same thing. Okay. And then putting, so you'd watch the Miss World and the Miss USA, yada. Right. Okay. And so this one, it wasn't, the winner of it all. Okay. The god was Olympus. Okay. You have Mr. America, Mr. World, Mr. Universe, but the pinnacle of the beauty contest for men, okay, was Mr. Olympia. But the beauty contest for men was just a little bit more Franco Columbo, and I'm going to pull a train car with my teeth to show that not only do I have better muscle, just break it down to a science, and I am better than Schwarzenegger. It's just because he's 6'5" and I'm 5'6". In the symmetry, how can I have similar symmetry to him when we have different genetics? But look at that, I have diamonds upon diamonds upon diamonds in my calves, and even I think Schwarzenegger would have mentioned, no, he was stronger than me. I was bigger than him, but he was stronger than me. His muscles were compounded upon muscles. He broke it down into a science. He didn't drink beer. He didn't do this. He ate everything right. Everything, all the foods to build all the muscle to Dr. Franco Columbo. He could pull a train car with his teeth. He was surely Hercules and Mr. Olympia, right? Then what happened? It was always a beauty contest, but the fallacy in it, the flaw in it at first was Larry Scott beating Sergio Olivia, and Larry Scott beating Sergio Olivia, and Larry Scott first, Olivia second. And you could look at them side by side and say, oh no, it's a beauty contest. Olivia's more beautiful. Woody Strode is more beautiful than John Wayne. But John Wayne, no, it was most like Buster Crabbe. Okay, Buster Crabbe keeps beating Woody Strode. Okay, take off all your clothes. Okay, Woody Strode has a better body. Yeah, but Buster Crabbe's handsomer. He's handsomer? Yeah, but Woody Strode has a better body than Buster Crabbe, right? Yeah, but he's handsomer. So it was a beauty contest. Yeah. And so they had to break it down into symmetry and know that you have the right symmetry. And for the longest time, the best of it with the best symmetry, who was even better than Arnold Schwarzenegger because he did it the way that Columbo did it, but he didn't break it down into turning into just a little muscle that wasn't a human being, that wasn't beautiful and statuesque. And the most statuesque and most perfect bodybuilder, not Robbie Robinson, the best of all time, not the Hulk, okay, was Dr. Frank Zane. Okay. Frank Zane, his face wasn't as pretty as Larry Scott's. You know, he didn't look like Buster Crabbe, the actor. He didn't, you know what I mean? He had a nose and, you know, and stuff. And he wasn't, okay, well, he's not as pretty, but his body was gorgeous, right? It was beautiful, had perfect symmetry. The lines were perfect. Hi, I'm better than the Statue of David because the rap tapes are over there, right? Dave Rodriguez, right? I don't know what he's showing off. Or that guy came in with the yoga pants. I was like, what are you talking about? That man is an Adonis, man. It's like, I still don't know what he's showing off. And I'm, what? He must take steroids and it must shrink his junk, right? I'm like, oh, you're looking at his pants. I'm sorry, I didn't check out his penis. Never occurred to me. Well, I'm a guy. Yeah. Like with girls, you know, sometimes you can't help it, especially when they're showing it off. You look at the first thing you look at on a girl, okay, because we're superficial and we're males, is her face. Okay. You look at her eyes and her, you know, because that's the face you're going to kiss the rest of your life, you know. So it has to be very pleasing to your, you know, that's just the way guys are. And if it's not as pleasing as you would desire, but the words that come out of that face are absolutely beautiful because they're sincere. Are you sincere when you say you love me? Right? Are you sincere when you say you care? Can I believe every word that my ears ever heard? Right? Lenny Welch. I'd like to know which way to go. Are you sincere? Oh, I'm a stranger in paradise, right? And so you haven't. Lenny Welch, yeah, his Stranger in Paradise is good. And Johnny Mathis is you really ain't got nothing on Lenny Welch. And Are You Sincere? And I Know I Need Someone. And since I Fell for You, it's wonderful, right? And I also really like his You Can Have Her, I Don't Wanna, She Never Loved Me Anyway. She only wanted, and his Breaking Up Hard to Do, the Nil Sedaka. Wow, don't take your love away from me. Don't leave my heart in misery. If you do, then I'll be blue. 'Cause breaking up is hard to do. Remember when you held me tight? You say, yeah, it's Lenny Welch is really good. And then when he had the modesty to say that, you know, I tried to sing Frankie Lyman songs, but I couldn't. I just didn't have that good of a voice, that enough range. You're like, you're kidding, seriously? I think Since I Fell for You is one of my favorite songs of all time. And I think if Frankie Lyman sing it, I don't think I would like it as well as Lenny Welch's, but that shows you the modesty of Lenny, all right? That's why I liked him so much, you know. He's like a really nice, down-to-earth guy. And he said it was hard. Frankie Lyman was the guy that got me into singing, and he'd be backstage and he'd be strung out on drugs and asking for money, and he goes, it was really depressing. It was brutal to see what the business does to these people. And it was painful. It hurt to see and feel. Right? And you're like, I know you don't know what I'm going through. Let me tell you that it hurts so bad, right? It's gonna hurt so bad. And that's probably the reason why most people turn Jesus into a comic book and pray to that comic book for salvation from the mobsters that turned Jesus into the head of their bank and their, you know, Dan Brown novels. Oh, that sucks, yeah, don't it though? God, Jesus with Dan Brown novels and movies. I was like, Jesus, he goes, what? No, Earl. Anything that lines up with the scientific facts of the course, this is all just to make money, Earl. That's all Dan Brown's doing. Could you tell Ryan Howard? But is Clint Howard okay? He's funny. He makes me laugh. I liked him as Leon with his sandwich on the Andy Griffith show. Yeah, so did Andy Griffith. It made him lots of money and sold lots of boxes of cereal. And Ritz, good cracker. Yeah. Yeah. Crackers, That's like emergency food. Yeah. Like food in a can. You store it and have it for in case of emergencies, in case you have like the El Nino event of 1877 that Ryan Hall's talking about. Right. I like Ryan Hall. I like him. He's a very empathetic kid. He does the podcast to make sure that people are prepared. That's why he did it, that people are prepared and they don't get caught with their back filled in motion and their pants down and end up just getting totally hosed and screwed and have to be left to FEMA, FEMA, it's FEMA. He's got better symmetry. Okay, yeah. And so Joe Weider, yeah, and male, Mr., it's Miss America with macho genitalia, my dick is God's gift to women, ego problems, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I think the reason why Zayn won so much is because he was married, and allegedly they were happily married, and she did the same thing. And he genuinely tried to be like a Jack LaLanne type guy, and that's why he won so much. But he was good. There might have been other guys that maybe, but he just basically was the smokes model for the industry and the sport. And Jerry liked Frank. Of course, he liked Frank Zane. No, he was very dedicated. He, like Boria Crow said, most people don't do bodybuilding because it requires hard work. It requires excessive compulsive behaviors, and you have to keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it until you die. And it's like, what? And then if you stop doing it, in order to maintain that bulk, when you built up that bulk, when your body doesn't naturally do it because you're competing in a dick measuring contest to be a corporate spokesperson for holding products hostage and then making lots of money off of the hostage holding, is pretty much clinically insane. But it is hard work because it's hard to work under those conditions. Okay, but you sit there and explain. Do you understand? Okay, so that was interesting. So yeah, I made that little reaction to that Dave Allen thing, and then this is a long, what they perceive as dissertation. That's because we are correcting artificial intelligence, which is obviously long-winded and has think with the things you can think, and quantum computing needs help to globally connect and reflect intelligence, and it's real hard to do with artificial intelligence and artificial general intelligence because of the ego problems of the developers of both. So I'm working on it, and I just connect to people, and I love people. And I had to tune them out on a large scale, and I still tune them out on a large scale. But whenever they bring something before me, it's the computer saying, "Hey, here's a connection." Okay, I'll work with that. All right, guys, because I love people. Yeah, and Britt, she's very cute. Yeah, there she is, right? Nobody. See, this is her. And I also connected to this lady. She's really cute, and I just adore her voice. But I'm not trying to covet. And that's her right there. See. She's cute, has little things that remind me of my little Law and my little Peanut. Is that what Mrs. Pettis called her? Peanut? Yeah, because she has a little cute little peanut head. She's sweet. She's adorable. Yeah, no, Michelle Pettis, she's an absolute sweetheart. I didn't regret. I tried to date her. Her family was racist and wouldn't let me date. I know it upset her mother. Her mother was Mexican and married a black guy. And her mom was like, and after he was dating all those jerky black jocks that were trying to, and I stood up for her in her honor and told her, it's right and stuff like that. So I know her mother had to be like, oh gosh, it's too bad you can't date that Earl Parsons kid. Yeah, I know. And then her cousin tried to date me, but let all the bitchy black guys talk her out of it because they were making fun of her or said that they would tell, I'll tell them I had sex with you. It's like, so? Because that's what Harley Pettis called me. Me and Harley were friends. He said, they talking all this shit and all that stuff. I say, and they're going to say, well, they fucked her. And I was like, well, so? I'm not concerned with that. That doesn't bother me. Peggy's a nice person. And Harley's like, really? You'd date her even though they've all fucked her and would tell you they fucked her and talk to her? Yeah, of course. They fucked her. I protect her, take care of her, and make sure that they don't fuck her again. And if they try, I'll put their fucking teeth to the back of their head, and the only thing they'll be able to use their dick for is to try to pick up their teeth with it. How's that? That's the type of guy I am. uh, uh, no tribalism here. I'm the anointed one, like King David, right? Peace out, man.